We finally made it to the final nodes of Dark Dimension 6. That's right, legendary. Legendary! Let's get into how I went about conquering the legendary nodes of DD6. What you can take away from that, I don't know. Let's find out. Okay, so legendary nodes. There's 4 legendary nodes. 2 legendary nodes that allow you to use Apocalypse, and 2 legendary nodes that don't allow you to use Horseman or Apocalypse, right? Right. So, let's look at my roster and see what I brought in. Then we can talk about what worked, what didn't. Actually, legendary is pretty simple overall because there's only so many legendary characters in the game. And so you typically want to just bring the newest, shiniest characters. So that said, look what we got here. Black Cat, Nova, Omega Red, Doc Octopus, and Green Goblin Classic. Now, I purposely took less tech so that I could afford Dr. Octopus and Green Goblin Classic at the end game here. If you can do it, I recommend it. If you're going to sub one out, I think you'd sub out Dr. Octopus and put in Fury. Let's actually look at all of the options here for Legendary, just in case. So, non-Horseman Legendary. Iron Man's still a dud. Magneto is just dated without his full Death Seed team. Nick Fury is great because of his summons. Those summons really pound out. They've got death proofs, they last long, they hit hard, and they have great control abilities with slow, turn, rewind, stun. So Fury is a great pick, although he is 110, very expensive. So if you don't have the materials for him, obviously not a great idea. Adam Warlock, I think, is quite good for control character. He's got stun, ability block, but again, rather expensive, and he just is a little squishier nowadays because he's a little older. Black Bolt is a no-go. Ebony Maw, not great. Jubilee, not great. Too squishy. Shuri, not bad, but again, there's better tech options, so I would rather you took the time to bring Dr. Octopus instead of Shuri because he's a better character. Star-Lord is trash. Green Goblin is one of the cheaper characters and one of the newest characters, the newest legendary, so bring him in. He's very good. A little squishy, but very good. And then Invisible Woman, trash. Phoenix, trash. The only redeeming quality about Phoenix is she's there to die so that she deals health across the board, right? Like, that's her only redeeming quality. But I don't think it's beneficial in this aspect anymore. I believe they've built Dark Dimensions to make Phoenix more relevant as time has gone by because she was so good in the early Dark Dimension nodes. All right, that's all the legendaries aside from the ones I mentioned. All right, so bottom line, pick the newest 5 legendary characters and give her. The actual nodes themselves are quite easy. I'll tell you that right now. There's 4 nodes, 2 that you can bring Horsemen into at the end, and 2 that you cannot. So these, you need the 5 Horsemen. I brought in Black Cat, Nova, Omega Red, Doc Ock, and Green Goblin. There's a lot of control in those 5 characters. We've got stuns, multiple ability blocks. We've got some healing from Doc Ock, and we got turn rewind from Black Cat and Green Goblin Classic. So this first node here, Mission 12, the only thing you have to worry about is some pre-taunts you have to get around and some speed from like Falcon, things like that. Zemo, that has a little bit of speed factor. Aside from that, this is a walk in the park. Just hit it. If you get bad RNG, just redo it. It will take you no time to one-shot this. Mission 13, the second node with all the legendaries, non-horsemen. Again, quite easy. There's a couple rebirth here, so you just want to control them so that you don't get stuck behind Captain America taunt. There is also a few Darkhold, and if there's enough Darkhold on the field, they hit hard if they get to their ults and things like that. Same with Agent Venom. But aside from that, again, if you don't get stuck behind a Wong taunt, control that. kill off the Agent Venoms before they can really touch you, you're flying through this node as well. One shot, easy, no problem. All right, that gets into the last 2 nodes. One of them quite easy, one of them probably the hardest node in all of DD6. So up first is Mission 14. This is legendary, plus you can bring Apocalypse and you can bring the Horsemen. Would you want to bring Horsemen? Sure, but the cost in materials is outrageous. Don't do it. It's not worth it. You already have 5 legendary characters leveled up for the previous 2 nodes. You probably already have Apocalypse brought up, recommended. There you go. You have your team of 5. You just have to pick which 5 you're bringing in. And for me, it was between Omega Red and Nova to be benched, just because Omega Red is kind of the oldest of the legendary. Well, Doc Ock is the oldest, but he just got reworked. But yeah, Omega Red is very good anyway because of his lifesteal and his ability blocks and his low cooldowns. Nova is good because of his ult that gives the nice battlefield effect. Gives your characters a little bit more resistance there. And he's got a beautiful stun as well. Either way, try to make the cooldowns on your legendary characters here. Line up, slow play the last few characters so you can build up your cooldowns on your abilities. Roll into this and just knock it out of the park. This one's not too bad. The only biggest concerns is Nemesis, obviously, does a huge amount of AoE, bleed damage, brutalize you, and Quicksilver is a huge pain. If you can control those characters, you should be able to get through this. She-Hulk is also kind of a pain, but you can get through it, no problem. Just focus on making sure Quicksilvers are subdued, stun them, focus them down. You can get through this one, not too bad. I one-shot it fairly easily. Even if you take 2-tap, it'll be a very easy 2-tap. But that brings us to the last, final mission for all the Skrull, Mission 15. This thing is a beast. They saved all of the just worst possible combination of characters for the last node just to really grind your gears at the end of this game mode. And I kind of liked it. It was like, you know, this is tough. You have to earn this Super Skrull. You've got Weaver, you've got Doom, you've got Icarus, SuS, multiple Emmas slowing your team, Kestrel's in there. Thanos is a huge pain. This Thanos is over 1 million power. He is a dynamo. So be careful. Control as best you can. If you can get through to the Icarus and kill the Icarus, whatever you do, don't back out of the fight. Just keep that attack and come back into it another day, because if you can get through that, you've made a good amount of progress. Just stick with it, because it only gets worse from there. SuS comes in, Dormammu comes in, and when Dormammu drops, he gives everybody revive once. So you just have to whittle these characters down, just being very conscious of controlling every character that can just ruin you in one ability. And as you can see, there's many of them. Quicksilver comes down, Omega Red comes in, Gambit is always a pain, just pinging you every turn. Morgan Le Fay, you have to just stop in her tracks. Don't let her ultimate for the life of you. Weaver comes in, Doom comes in, Red Hulk. It's just a shit show. So if you can come in with your cooldowns from a previous node, you should be able to get to that Icarus. If you can kill the Icarus, just save it. Let that attack slide. I did this node in 3 attacks with the team I brought in. Just a recap here, that was Apocalypse, Green Goblin, Nova, actually Doc Ock, and Black Cat. I actually swapped between Omega Red and Nova in my first and second run. I found they were equally beneficial depending on cooldowns. If Nova doesn't have his cooldowns going into that last node, don't bring him. Without his cooldowns, and they're long cooldowns, it takes too long to get them back up and around. The Omega Red, on the other hand, his cooldowns are so short that he can still be useful even if he has to wait 2 turns to use his special 2-ability block. His abilities come around much faster, so I would bring him in if your Nova isn't cooldown ready. That's it, though. Just hit it and quit it. It took me 3 shots. It probably takes the average person more than that, but I was determined to get really good RNG and get through the node. You can do it too. It just is time consuming. Probably, at least an hour or so to get through half of that node by resetting and getting the right RNG, that not one of your characters just gets offed in the first 5 minutes. So just stick to it, keep at it, you've got it, and then Skrull is money. And that's it. That's DD6. Thanks so much for watching the video. If you enjoy this kind of content, like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments. I can make more. If you don't, I'll go back to making completely useless information videos like superpower rants and things like the such. Have a great day. Keep it clean, and we'll catch you next time.